between the British government and striking union workers. There's even talk of a strict new law against strikers. But reports suggest that UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has backed away from the strongest moves, fearing that the House of Lords would block them. Under parliamentary convention, the UK's upper house can delay legislation, which is not included in a party's election manifesto. The Conservatives had included minimum service levels in their 2019 manifesto, but the new stringent clauses against workers were not included. The new legislation announced on Thursday had gone beyond providing minimum service levels and talked of legal action and unions actually sacking workers. Sunak rejected the more far-reaching measures that would have increased the threshold for strike ballots, doubled the notice for industrial action and banned ambulance workers from striking. Downing Street backed away amid fears that including the stringent measures could have delayed the entire strike package. The government is still expected to impose minimum service levels for fire, ambulance and rail services. It will hold in reserve powers to impose minimum service levels on border force officials, NHS workers, including nurses and teachers. According to the unions, the law breaches the human rights legislation and they would take legal action against the measure. Meanwhile, the chief of the Royal College of Nursing says they could accept a pay rise of around 10% to end its ongoing disputes. The union had initially demanded an increase of up to 19% to cover soaring inflation. Well, for more on this, we're joined by our correspondent Alex Isat in London. Alex, it was aggressive talk from Rishi Sunak, but he now appears to have backed away from the more extreme measures that he was talking about. Give us the latest on how this situation lies.
Absolutely. Now, we're still expected to hear some of what he is proposing legislation-wise during next week. But it does seem that one of his 5 promises is already watered down. Now, that's because a lot of the unions have already threatened legal action. And when he's speaking to his lawyers, no doubt, in Parliament, they're agreeing that some of these moves towards being able to sack workers who don't do the minimum work to help services keep going, that may actually be against human rights and illegal. So it looks like there will be a version out there to start this legislation process, but it's likely to not be as strong and as quick and as swift as he seemed to have promised in his original speech. But again, we'll have to wait and see, because this is something that he said that he wanted to try and change. He wanted to move forward, but all we are hearing at the moment is strike, strike, strikes. We have another strike that's happening today on the rails. 20% of services aren't running, and people are going to struggle over the weekend. In fact, Sunday looks like the only day that we don't have a strike on, and then leading into next week and the week after, we have ambulance strikes, we have nurses strikes, and we have teachers strikes as well. And a lot of the public are asking for something to be done. But of course, the government doesn't want to face any legal issues going forward.
Alex Isat joining us live from London. Many thanks.